Vanishing Point, a novel by Keith A. Kenel. Epilogue. Epilogue. Caleb Ezra Morse pled not guilty and got out of prison on a technicality. Technically, he was dead. Caleb's kidnapping, sexual, and aggravated assault charges fell under the federal hate crime umbrella, and the federal prosecutor offered him a plea deal if he would provide evidence against the Elohim jihadists. Caleb had laughed at the prosecutor and later bragged to his fellow Elohim detainees that the prosecutor thought he could be bought with Judas's silver. Within a week of the offer, Caleb was found beaten to death in his cell. The hair and blood of one David Demetrius found in Caleb's cell, along with Demetrius's DNA on the murder weapon. What could have been damning evidence against a man who had openly fought with Caleb on the exercise lawn instead perplexed prison authorities. How could Demetrius's DNA appear in Morse's cell 2 days after Demetrius had been released from custody? A release that had been made possible via DNA evidence that eliminated David Demetrius as a suspect in his pending trial. Caleb's phone records and personal belongings led to one John Farmer, who, faced with charges of conspiracy to kidnap, rape, torture, and murder, had readily agreed to act as a confidential informant against the Elohim and his brother-in-law Bishop Scudder. Elohim's army was on the run, and authorities felt that Carla Karen Kaiser was an unlikely target. Caleb's phone also held pictures of Eva Levin, an African-American transgender entertainer that Morse and Scudder had raped, killed, and left in a shallow Mobile, Alabama grave. Caleb's phone held a treasure trove of information that was used in establishing evidence against Scudder and his Elohim followers. Upon Eva's disappearance, a reward had been established by her many adoring fans for evidence leading to the discovery of Ms. Levin's whereabouts. Based on the evidence that Caleb Morse's arrest had provided, the $100,000 reward went to Manny Taisto, Carla Kaiser, Suzanne Lair, and Stacy Shannon. Stacy and Suzanne attempted to give their $25,000 reward to Carla, but she refused, declaring, "Fair's fair." Carla and Suzanne then established a $529 qualified tuition plan in Skylar's name that each woman contributed $15,000 to. Manny Taisto, upon hearing of the generosity of his friend Suzanne, as well as that of her young co-worker Stacy, contributed $5,000 to the account. "What? I don't even know the woman. Plus, I could have been killed. Give me a frickin' break here." Because Carla's residence was physically separate from Mrs. McNutt's, the police and McNutt estate allowed her and Skylar to continue living in the tiny rented shack. The arrangement, though generous, proved untenable due to frequent, overwhelming nightmares that Skylar experienced. They were able to find affordable accommodations within walking or riding distance of Interlochen Elementary. Carla purchased a too small but much beloved Disney Princess bicycle for Skylar from Goodwill. Sarah Conan and Marty stopped referring to one another as steps and instead simply called each other mom and daughter. Mark Conan, upon his wife's insistence, reminded his wife of her demeanor when her less desirable traits surfaced. The favorable change in Marty and Sarah's relationship was marked. Mark's and Marty's, not as much. Fourth grade placed Sarah and Skylar in separate classes, but the two remained best friends. Marty frequently invited Carla and Skylar over for swims in the family pool. Stacy Shannon's fourth year of teaching was as heartfelt as her first three, and she found her increase in confidence a blessing in dealing with fellow staff, parents, and teachers. Jim Lance beat out Tyler Hinnenkamp for Stacy's romantic attentions. The two are engaged, but have not yet set a date.